emperor is a lot of hard work. You got to set your race on the golden path. You got to see far into the future and predict anyone who is going to try and overthrow you, and otherwise just rule with our iron fist. It's exhausting. I don't know why you'd want to play a game about it, but if you do, you can play the Mims by Squatting Penguins, built on the Unity 4.6 engine. You can pick it up for around 15 to 20 of your particular currency of choice, unless you're in Australia, in which case, maybe that's about $8,000. Who knows? But what is it? Experience the mysterious and mystical by taking a journey with the Mims and the strategic god game. Create structures, plant vegetations, breed animals, take care of your minions, use divine psi powers, triumph in the face of natural disasters, fight monsters, predict the future, and so much more. And that more includes a brush with the Inquisition of the chairs. 1 chair means that it's garbage, 2 chairs means that it's meh, 2 chairs means that it's pretty good, and 4 chairs means that's amazing. We also got our categories of doom, mixed with the working shiny sounds, controls, and fun. So, can the power of the god of the Mims even approach that of the chairs? Let's find out. Ben, did this game make with the working?
Well, Brother Svang, over here on the Ubuntu 1404 LTS, yes, I'm still running the old stable sauce with an 8150 AMD 980 4K displayed box of business. Well, let's see how it runs. It didn't pass the 1080 to 2160 resolution test. I don't know what to say about that other than it didn't, and that just kind of tells me, that's kind of a sign that, Unity 4. Pedro might even have an issue with it as well. On top of that, it genuinely struggles to hit 60 FERPs at 1080, sometimes dropping into the low 20s, because fuck you turned your camera to the wrong angle. And there's no save system. There's a built-in save system, but we'll get more into that during the fun section. But I want to close off the mix with the working about that save system, because, I asked the developers, and I was like, hey, man, why doesn't this have a save system? And they immediately whipped out the, we're a small indie team card. Like, that was some type of shield that defends them, because this is no longer in early access. And they said, and I quote, maybe in AAA games, mid-save game is a standard. This is why people are accustomed to this option. Die in a fucking fire. All right, seriously. It's not broken. It technically runs, so I'm going to technically give you 2 chairs.
See, unlike these guys who apparently are incapable of Linuxing, I had no issues getting the game running. Pedro's going to talk to you about buffer underruns. I'm usually the guy who gets all the buffer underrun stuff, and that did not happen with this game, which I found quite shocking. The lack of save system doesn't really result in a chair being dinged for the mix with the working. No, that chair gets ripped out somewhere else. So, for the only 4 chair score this game will ever see, you'll get it from me for mix with the working.
On what?
On Fedora 22, 64-bit with the i7 6700K, NVIDIA GTX 980, 32 gigs of RAM, SSDs, yada, yada, yada.
Yada yada. So I could tell this was a Unity 4.0 series game because it attempted to full screen into 1920 by 1200 into both my monitors. When I corrected it by going to .config Unity 3D Squatting Penguins, opened the prefs file, set the resolution manually, and oh look, now it figured out the correct resolution. And while I was there, I had a look at the player.log file, and it's like loading engine version. Unity 4.6 FE3, whatever. Oh, right. That's what we're dealing with. And yes, the buffer underruns are real. I should also mention that even though it does full screen, it full screened on the right monitor when I wanted it, and I have the left monitor set to the primary display. Wouldn't have it.
Which?
All right. Yeah, the buffer underruns are real. I thought setting the latency in the Pulse Audio daemon conf file was enough, like I do whenever I do a fresh install. But no, not for this game. I dare you to try and listen to a YouTube video while playing this. It's not going to be pretty. So on the Fedora 23 64-bit with the FX 8370E overclocked at 4.2 gigahertz and GTX 970 Strix, it gets 2 chairs.
All right, that's 2 chairs. No, I actually did play this game with the YouTube window open, watching a video. No issue. So I think Pedro's smoking a little bit of crack. That's 2 chairs for Mixed with Working. Up next is Shining Sounds.
Is it brilliant? Is it beautiful? We all wonder as we sit back. Well, if you look at the screenshots on their Steam page, you might be slightly actually impressed. But don't, because jaggies everywhere. And you're talking about Captain F anti-aliasing, because normally I can't be asked, but this was bad enough to where, yeah, I wanted to do something that, while anti-aliasing technically works, air quotes on that, you need to be face first into a 28-inch monitor to tell the difference between not and 8x, because it only goes to 8x. And, you know, if we're on the sounds, if you want to try to mute audio or sound effects, you have to restart the game. You can't do that while you're actually in the game. You can suggest, then restart.
That's a AAA feature.
It's a feature, man. Yeah, I know, it's not a big budget game. And, you know, that's only made worse, you know, when we're just talking about the graphics, because they're straight out of 2003. And, you know what? I'm kind of being generous when I say that. But then we come to the voice work. Now, billions of years ago in the future's past, because this thing has been in early access for 2+ years, that not wall of text, but lower third of text they were actually going or something like that. And that was at least something. Now, it's just completely silent. And when you talk about the background music, that will nope you to sleep quicker than a Rohypnol smoothie. Chat room? No. Bad chat room. Don't suggest that. So, Shining Sounds, we'll give it 2.
Yeah. You use the Night Attack spelling at chat realm, then it's a little disappointing. But for Shining Sounds, I mean, the visual offerings are pretty meh. I mean, like moving around the map to see things, that's something for the control section. But it's definitely very underwhelming, middle of the road. I think circa 2008, like low budget game, is an adequate descriptor for the visuals here. And the sounds aren't, and I got no buffer underruns, which I found surprising. But even then, the sounds aren't really mentionable, because I remember listening to them, because I was hearing them, and I could not tell you right now what the hell they even were. That's how forgettable it is. Yeah, I mean, the Mim design is okay. They kind of look like those weird aliens from Toy Story. That doesn't really do it for me. I don't know. It's a very middling type game, so I get a middling score for Shining Sounds. 2 chairs.
Oh yeah, there were definitely sounds there, but most of what I heard was the staticky garbled mess from the ALSA plugin causing buffer underruns with pulse audio. Yep, and that is a bitch, because you can't actually go into Pavu control and mute that stream, because that stream keeps crashing and respawning. That's what the buffer underrun causes. It just crashes, respawns, crashes, respawns. It's in any case, the graphics, well, it's Unity 4. You've seen those blades of grass flickering in the wind in just about every single game that we covered over the past 2 years. And anti-aliasing, Ven's already gone into it. For me, I couldn't see a damn difference. At 1080 on a 23-inch IPS monitor, put it at nope. I would get like 100-something FERPs in the options menu, but yeah, there were all the jaggies there. Then I would put it at 8, and the FERPs would drop down to like 30, and the jaggies were still there. So yeah, no. 2 chairs.
All right, that's 2 chairs for Shining Sounds. Up next is Control Ven. Do you spin me right round, baby, right now?
I don't know, man. Pedro just said we've been doing this for 2 years. We've been doing it for 4.
It's Pedro years, man. It's like 50% of an actual year.
I know, it's brilliant. All right. However, and whoever decided right click plus scroll click equals rotate should be spanked with a shaved weasel. Serious. But don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because you can rebind the No, I'm just fucking with you. You can't rebind shit in this damn game. Welcome to 2016, bitches. Hell, man. I mean, normally we rarely, even 2016, run into games that have controller support that you can't rebind. It is blowing my mind organ out that they couldn't even be arsed to do keyboard and gerbil rebinding. Even though it's Unity 4, that's very doable, but they didn't. So you're kind of stuck with what they give you, and what they give you is rubbish. So I'll give you 2 chairs.
Yeah, the keyboard controls at least are all over the place. And screen rotation does not work this way. What the fuck? Okay, listen. Here's the thing. You can imagine that your camera is on a stick and it is pointing perpendicular to that stick. And if you rotate the camera by pressing Q, it goes counterclockwise. And if you hit E, that stick rotates clockwise. That seems to be how every single other game in the history of games that have rotatable cameras functioned. Oh, not this one though. No, sir. You have to rotate and then move. You have to move your camera perspective, rotate, move it again, and you're gonna miss stuff on these maps if you don't actually explore them, because there are critical resources you require, and if you don't get them, you got to start that mission over, man. Beyond that, everything else is point and click and point, and it's your standard God game interface. No real issues with that, but seriously, how do you fuck up camera rotation? Minus 2 chairs. 2 chairs for this nonsense.
Okay, so you use your scroll wheel to zoom in and out. That's fine. And then you use your arrow keys or your WASDs to
he made the colors match.
To move the camera. That's fine. Then you'd expect that, say, if you held down the right click or even hold down the mouse wheel and drag the mouse, that the camera would rotate. No. Yeah, Ven wasn't kidding when he said that you need to hold down both the wheel and the right click at the same time.
Start shaving your weasels.
And then drag the mouse to spin the camera. What kind of game development background do you have to be brought up in for that to make sense? And no, you can't rebind controls because what the hell? I mean, I can't give it 1 chair on the technicality that it does in fact control, but I can certainly give it 2.
Yeah, see, I'm kind of low on weasels. I got shaved ferrets though. Does that work, Ben?
How about shaved beavers?
Oh snap! I don't got shaved beavers either. But that's 2 chairs for control. Let's put a bow on this. Ven, did you have fun playing the
fun section, our subjective category that we're going to rock on about? Well, here's the dice, Brad. You know, I'm not a fan of hand-holding, but for fuck's sake, give me the slightest idea, Brad. This game thinks it's being, air quotes again, hard by saying it will not provide additional hints after never providing said additional hints. But that just translates to we couldn't be arsed to make a proper tutorial. If I'm heading over to the YouTubes, like after you get through all your bullshit and just drop me in the map, to figure out step fuck mothering 1, you done goofed. I've already called the internet police on you, son. But to add insult to that injury, we talked about saves. Yes, we talked about saves. They worked on it and they improved it. It saves after each mission, which each mission averages about 1 full arn. You can't make that shit up, people. You just can't. I mean, wow. But, anyhow. I ran out of gems, and you see, that's your currency in the game to build things and all that, and I couldn't get any more. And that was a genuinely serious issue with this particular game, because I was using gems to purchase fucks given, and I'm all out of fucks given, so I'm going to give it 1 chair.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, like, I don't see how you could get into this game without even playing the tutorial, which shows you what you need to build, but not why you need to build it or why it's important that you keep this maintained or upgraded. I mean, it's not that difficult, so you can figure it out eventually. But it would be nice if they actually told you what the shit is going on. So, so, like I said, this game isn't complicated. What it is boring. I've never really been a fan of God games. I played Black and White back in the day, and I never really caught my interest. I know, right? It's so boring. Then it's like sitting in synagogue with nothing but your Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy to keep
I
you.
thought you
company
snuck like
for
a Game Boy in
hours.
synagogue.
Oh no, that was Hitchhikers because that shit looked like the Bible. But
Bonus achievement.
But anyways, sacrilegiousness aside, this is a game that will not make you change your mind about the genre in the least. It's boring. Like what you click around and you wait. At least with like real-time strategy or Civilization, you at least get the sense of progress. But in this game, there's just so much waiting, and you can increase the timer if you need to charge your psi powers faster, or you need to wait for the ship to come back from selling your chickens for gems that you can use to buy fucks to give. But it's just sitting there and waiting, and it's annoying and boring. And why the hell am I even doing it? I almost put 2 hours into this, and by the end of it, I was like, is it done yet? Oh God, I just need to go lie down. I'm just so bored. And really, the gem shortage will screw you over, like Ven said. I actually got to a mission where they give you just enough gems to get to where you need to go, but you need one more that is just out of range, and you're straight fucked. So, you know what? This game is straight fucked. It gets 1 share.
Yeah, you know what else real-time strategy gives you? Agency. But we'll get to that. This game adheres to the tell, don't show school of design, as in it tells you in a screen-filling, opaque wall of text that space chicken you grew was taken to the spaceport, and somehow that helps. It tells you that the memes now consider you their deity, even though all you see is a bunch of semi-transparent buildings while your fingers hover the Alt and F4 keys, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Before I tear into the memes any further, I would like to say I don't like God games. So take everything I say from now on with a grain of chainsaw. They take real-time strategy, which I also don't like, and introduce a degree of stupid. You're not a commander with soldiers obeying your every order. You're a deity literally giving out suggestions to beings of limited intelligence. And if they don't adhere to said suggestions, well, then you get to go full metal Old Testament on their ass. It's basically slavery of the subnormal. I guess that's why most God games don't offer portray the lot you're looking after as human. Yeah. I just noticed something. This game is so not my bag that I'd rather waffle than actually talk about it specifically. And the exact same thing happened while I was trying to play it. At one point, I got up and decided to vacuum the apartment instead of playing the Mims. Because if I'm going to do menial tasks, I'll do them where they matter. In the real world. And I don't get why people play video games to recreate that feeling of watching an ant farm. Because that is exactly the degree of agency you're given in this game. You're staring at an ant farm and you're dropping stuff in and see what the ants do with it. That's it. 1 chair.
Oh, it's done? Oh, good. I can stop. Okay, that's 1 share for fun. Tally that up. That is 1 share for the fun category and 1 share for the final score. Final thoughts. The Mims is a God game that makes you really wish that God would summon down a flood and drown you so that you don't have to play it anymore, Ven.
The Mims is goddamn poor excuse for a game, Brad. Listen, I mean, this game was made by a 2-person team, and both of the lads genuinely seem like really nice people. I mean, we've talked with them, over those 2 years. However, Dust and Axiom Verge, I mean, these are just 2 off the top of my head, Oregon, were both made by a 1-person team. So I don't feel bad when I say unfinished game is unfinished. And I'm going to give you a pro tip for free right here, full of Vin sauce. Once you exit Greenlight, don't even think about trying to pull the small indie team Carter defense. It makes you look more incompetent than you already are.
Yeah, you see, if you look at the Steam reviews for this
Pedro,
game,
just quit playing all the AAA games, man.
Yeah, all the AAA games that don't exist for Linux. Actually, I played all of the ones that are currently out for Linux.
Yeah.
But But yeah, if you look at the Steam page for this game and you pay attention to the reviews, they are very positive. There's like 80-something% of the reviews submitted are positive. So feel free to ignore everything I said up to this point, because if you like
Pedro,
gun
here's
games,
something I want you to think about. Didn't we receive like a shitload of keys for this without ever even asking?
yeah, including the developers.
I'm not alleging anything, but I'm just saying put that somewhere.
Yeah,
in the thought
including
process with the
a couple
reviews.
of extra ones that you yourself got, and even Jordan got an extra one too.
Maybe some of that might have influenced some of the reviews with the showering of free game. You get what I'm saying?
yeah,
He
I
doesn't
did
get what I'm saying. All right, Jordan.
Oh, you guys are done? Okay, finally.